Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Whitney Ward.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Let's jump right to it and talk weather tonight. Our local ski resorts finally got some much needed snow, but nothing more than flurries down here in the valley. However, it is starting to feel more like December now.
The December that we know and love.
Right.
Chief Meteorologist Tom Sherry is joining us now. So, Tom, when are we actually going to see some more snowy conditions?
Well, I think middle of this weekend, especially next weekend, but for the mountains, they're already seeing it. And even some of the valleys to the north of us. Look at this winter weather advisory. In effect, all those areas you see shaded in blue above the 3,000 foot level could see 4 to 7 inches of snow. Now, that advisory isn't for Spokane. I don't think we're going to see much here, but the Okanagan Highlands and areas up in north central Washington could see 1 to 3 inches of snow in the valley locations where that colder air is still trapped. We're still well above freezing. We're going to get rain this evening. We're currently seeing some rain falling right now with wind out of the east at 11 miles per hour. You see the green indicating rain down in the lower Columbia Basin, down around the Kennewick area. Look at the heavy rain that is falling there. If that were falling in the form of snow, Interstate 84 would just be a mess right now, and so would 395 down towards the Tri-Cities. But right now it's just rain. We'll look for an overnight low of 30 degrees. Tuesday we'll look for some clearing in the afternoon and a high of 36. I always look ahead to the weekend. Snow developing Friday night into Saturday. Moderate amounts may happen. What does that mean? Maybe in excess of 2 inches of snow. That would make it slippery, and it won't melt with that high of 35, and then Sunday's high only climbs up to 33. I'll check the rest of that 7-day forecast in just a few moments.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Well, the verdict is in. A Cheney man accused of killing his wife with poisoned ice cream was found guilty today by a jury.
Grab 2's Amanda Rowley was in the courtroom this afternoon as that verdict was handed down. She's joining us live now from the Spokane County Courthouse with reaction from family members. Amanda?
Now, when the judge read the verdict, you could feel the shock in the courtroom. In fact, I saw David Pettis slump down in disbelief. Now, while some family members are relieved by the jury's decision, others are in disbelief.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Mr. David LaRue Pettis, guilty of the crime of premeditated murder in the first degree as charged.
After 3 days of deliberation, a Spokane County jury found David Pettis guilty of killing his wife, Peggy. He did this by lacing her ice cream with lethal amounts of prescription drugs.
Is this your verdict?
Yes, it is.
Is this the verdict of this jury?
Yes, it is.
The niece of the victim, Peggy Pettis,
Thank you
spoke
very
with
much,
us
sir.
after the
I
verdict was
appreciate
read.
that.
Katrina Mabe says she and her family felt relief with the jury's decision, but she told me no matter what the outcome would have been, it was not going to be easy for her family.
This is a very rough time for our family. Dave was a part of our family for 35 years. We are relieved that there's a resolution, and we hope that our family can now go forward with healing.
Right after the judge left the courtroom, Pettis' daughter Elizabeth Culp rushed to hug her father.
Just that he loves me and direct me to who I needed to be with to help.
She insists Pettis is not guilty of murdering her mother. She believes this because she lived with her parents and claims she saw her mother take hydrocodone on the weekends.
I feel awful. I feel even more awful than I did before. Because I know that my dad didn't kill her, and it certainly wasn't premeditated.
Pettis is now in custody at Spokane County Jail tonight, and his sentencing is set for January 12th. Reporting from the Spokane County Courthouse, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
All right, Amanda, thank you very much. In other news, a man's in custody after police say he shot at his former boss before getting into a lengthy standoff with Spokane Valley deputies.
It all started around 4:30 this morning when 41-year-old Donald Weber reportedly showed up to his former boss's home and started yelling. Witnesses say he eventually shot through the door and then fled the area. His former boss told police he may have been under the influence of drugs at the time. Officers did eventually catch up to the suspect at a home on North Vista. A SWAT team and hostage negotiators then were out there for hours trying to get him to surrender peacefully. Now, he has been booked into jail tonight on second-degree assault and unlawful possession of a firearm charges.
Call it the right place at the right time. Avista workers, along with firefighters, were able to rescue an elderly man from the Spokane River this morning. The Avista workers first spotted the man after they heard his cries for help. Crews were able to get a flotation device to the stranded man, and when fire crews got there, they were able to rescue him from the water. The man was in a hypothermic state, they said, and was taken to the hospital for evaluation and for treatment. It is unclear at this hour how he ended up in the river.
This is a really painful reminder to every backcountry skier about how important it is, to always be taking care.
Well, one person has died and 5 others had to be rescued after an avalanche on Crystal Mountain on Saturday morning. It's unclear if those rescued skiers were injured in any way, but according to the Pierce County Sheriff's Office, 6 skiers were swept up in that avalanche at Silver Basin in the backcountry ski area. Crystal says the area those skiers were in was closed actually because of a storm moving in, and no avalanche mitigation had been done in that area.
The age range is 5 months to 86 years, and 6 are younger than 18.
Well, at least 100 people are feared dead following a weekend of tornado outbreaks across 8 states. Kentucky's governor there, Andrew Beshear, says at least 74 are known dead in his state. There were at least 50 tornado reports from late Friday into Saturday, and one of the tornadoes was on the ground for at least 128 miles, devastating numerous communities in Kentucky. The president plans on traveling to tour the destruction in Kentucky on Wednesday. Well, today marks 1 year since COVID vaccines started going into people's arms here in the U.S. In the year since, more than 11 million shots have been given out in Washington. More than 67% of eligible Spokane County residents have started the vaccination process, and 61% are fully vaccinated.
And Kootenai Health's COVID-19 vaccine requirement officially takes effect today. The hospital had planned to require all employees be fully vaccinated by last week, but then pushed it back 1 week to today. They will push forward, though, with requiring employees to be vaccinated despite a federal court order pausing that federal mandate. Staff will have to be vaccinated or have an approved exemption as of Friday. 21% of staff have requested an exemption. 99% of them have been granted.
Right now in Washington, there's a severe lack of hospital beds, but not because of COVID. Several major hospitals and healthcare systems just can't discharge patients because there aren't enough doctors and nurses available to care for people with complex long-term care needs. There's a staffing shortage. Burnout is a factor, so is retirement, and so is money.
One of the trends that we are seeing is nurses especially leaving their regular hospital employer and going to agencies because they can make more money.
State Hospital Association says people who need things like heart surgery or cancer surgery are receiving care in hallways or waiting days for a room. State hospital officials are worried about the Omicron variant making things worse.
Well, more and more people are wanting to call the Inland Northwest home, and who can blame them? But with more people and less available housing, the crisis is becoming more apparent. So tonight, what experts say the city can be doing to find a solution.